Jonah Hex. Now, I remember the trailers for this movie back in 2010. I didn't see the movie because I didn't really know what it was about. I didn't know that Jonah Hex was a DC comic book character until I watched the TV show Legends of Tomorrow. Jonah Hex was on the show, and I was like, didn't they make a movie about that guy? So I went to Wikipedia, looked up DC comic book movies made, and Jonah Hex was listed. So I got it, added it to the collection a few weeks ago. I watched it. Now it's time for the review. Now, I'm not that familiar with the Jonah Hex character, but I have seen him on a few episodes of Legends of Tomorrow. So, Josh Brolin's portrayal of Jonah Hex reminded me of some of those aspects. So, the plot of Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex, his family was killed by Quentin Turnbull, who was some kind of he's like a bounty hunter. He's also in charge of a gang, like a cowboy gang or something like that. I think Hex used to work for them, but Hex turned on him. So they went to his house, they burned his family, and they burned Jonah Hex's face. Years later, Jonah Hex, he's a bounty hunter. He hunts down criminals, burns down villages. He's not a guy to be messed with. He discovers some news that Quentin Turnbull has returned from the dead. The United States government in this time is building a weapon, and some people are calling it the Nation Killer. They have not yet built the weapon because they knew how destructive it will be. But Turnbull discovers the plans. He decides to steal the weapon's plans, and build the weapon himself. And Jonah Hex cannot let that happen. So he has to come out of the shadows and hunt down the man that killed his family. The story of vengeance or justice. What I like about this movie is that it does have a star-studded cast. You have Josh Brolin, John Malkovich, Megan Fox, Michael Fassbender, Michael Shannon, Wes Bentley. The film is stacked with a lot of people. Another thing that I like about the film is its Western style. It has a Western style type of feel. It reminds me of Ghost Rider from 2007. So I like it when comic book movies focus on, different genres, outer space, westerns, horror, comedy, that type of stuff in a typical comic book movie. But Jonah Hex, I know a lot of critics panned this movie, but I watched it. I like it. I think it's pretty good. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Jonah Hex might not be a character everybody knows. This movie might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it. So Jonah Hex gets a 10 out of 10. The story is basically about Quentin Turnbull getting his comeuppance from Jonah Hex. That's all you need to know. So that's my thoughts on the Jonah Hex movie.